What is going on, my Ghost Squad and the CloverTac crew? Welcome to not to the Arm Citizen podcast. Welcome to the Ghost and Clover podcast. It's been a long weekend, folks. It's been a really long weekend. Welcome to the Ghost and Clover podcast, presented by our good friends over at European American Army, or EAA, and we're going to talk a little bit about them here in a short while. But first we do that, my name is Trey the Ghost Tactical, and I'll be your captain for this flight. We do not anticipate any turbulence, so sit back, relax. We do not need you to bring your seat or the table to the upright position. Relax and enjoy the short flight here. We're going to bring in our good friend Clover here in a second. But guys, if you haven't been around the podcast very long, understand how this works. We both bring a topic. We don't know what the topics are. Could be anything and everything. And then the third topic, the random viewer topic, is provided by you guys. And we'll talk a little bit about that here in a little bit as well, and how you can do that. And that's presented by our good friends over at Monstrum Tactical. It is Memorial Day weekend, so happy Memorial Day. Happy Memorial Day weekend. Clover, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Hey. Yeah, you're being all generous with the seat back thing. Like, it's mostly like lawn chairs in here. And public service announcement for those that are taking this flight tonight. If we do experience turbulence, please get out of the kiddie pool. Just saying.
Yeah, get out of the kiddie pool or hot tub, as some people would call it.
The spa. It's a spa.
It's a spa. Oh yeah, it's a spa. That's right. That's right. We do not supply oxygen masks. So if you're expecting the oxygen mask to come from the ceiling on turbulence, well, you're just out of luck. Let's just say that.
Right.
But we will provide you entertainment maybe for the next hour.
Yeah. Hopefully, maybe.
Like I said, it is Memorial Day weekend. It's funny because I every year I do the same spiel in the Armed Citizen podcast, and I put posts out there all weekend long. But talking about, look, have fun, enjoy your weekend with your family and friends, but just remember, why you're able to enjoy those freedoms. And I get a comment on something, I don't know, a post or something on Instagram, and a guy starts going off like, this is not a weekend to have fun. This is a weekend to reflect on those that gave the ultimate sacrifice, blah, blah, blah. And I replied to him, it's like, bro, like, I understand the sentiment and I don't necessarily disagree. That said, if you're not enjoying your lives and enjoying the freedoms of being American, then what the hell did they die for? Like, the best way to thank them is to live your life and live your life to the fullest and make it worthwhile for them to sacrifice their lives. Because if you're just going to sit there and be solemn, that's not what they want. So get out there, have fun, get the cookout going, go to the lake, go to the beach, go wherever you're going, go camp out, or just hang out, watch TV or whatever. Like me, work 12-hour days, but it's okay. But just enjoy your life, because that is exactly why these great men and women sacrifice their lives to protect our way of life. And sometimes our way of life is celebrating, and we should celebrate them and think that's how you think them, is to celebrate them and celebrate our freedom. So there's my spiel for the day. How you doing, bud?
I don't know. Gotta wonder if that guy was a veteran or not. Did he say anything?
I don't know. I would probably, I don't know. It's funny. Yeah. It's weird, No, that's a fair statement, because it is ironic that a lot of people that are the biggest, how do I put this? Blowhards, if you will, on the military are people that never served. The people that served understand, what the hell is this all about?
It's that way across the board, though, right? Like you don't have to have experienced anything to have an opinion. I mean,
this is true.
Everybody has their opinion, but it seems like the ones that are, like you said, the biggest blowhards have the least experience or none at all, or they're ignorant to most of what they're talking about, and it's just it gets annoying. It definitely does. We should mention before we jump in really any further or dive in any further. So, if you're out there early, especially, you're going to want to hang around because the third topic tonight will be chosen or given to us by one of you out there in the live chat. So be thinking about what your topic for us will be tonight, just in case you get chosen.
Yeah, and we also want to mention that the radio networks that we're both a part of.
Yeah.
Obviously, this is going to be over at Self Defense Radio Network under the Ghost Tactical tab. It'll be under Firearms Radio Network under the CloverTac tab, but it's also going to be under Firearms Radio Network under the Ghost Tactical. Actually, it's going to be under the Armed Citizen Podcast tab. I will, even though it's not the Armed Citizen Podcast, it will be uploaded over there as well. But yeah, so go check out those, and we invite you to go check out Self Defense Radio Network and the Firearms Radio Network. Both great platforms for fantastic pro gun, pro 2A podcasts. So if you're out there, go check out all the great podcasts on both of those networks and let them know that Ghost and Clover sent you as well. So, yeah. I believe it's your first topic tonight. Go for it, bud.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do this.
How about a gun topic?
Oh, here we go.
You all ready for that?
Let's do this.
So,
I don't know. Knowing from you, it could be a gun topic that I'm not very well versed in. You never know.
No, I think it. I don't know. It'll be fairly generalized, so everybody out there should be able to participate in it. Because it will be a lot of opinion and a lot of personal experience and other things. But yeah, I had some things coming up over the last few days. Talking about gun ownership, and you've got the quick, snarky, smart ass comeback, which is because I can.
Sure, absolutely. It also holds the fact of being true, but yes, you can.
Right. Or you've got the why do you own guns? Shall not be infringed, or whatever.
My cold dead hand.
To fight tyranny. That's probably the three biggest comebacks you get from that. But truth is, there's a lot of reasons.
Just like them.
There's a lot of reasons. So I don't think we've ever really gone down that or given a lot of in-depth
that's
thought
interesting.
Of, what all the different reasons are. And so that may help, especially new people that have come into the community recently. Maybe they bought a defensive handgun during the summer of love and all that good stuff, and they don't realize that there's just so many cool aspects of gun ownership out there. So I thought we'd spend a few minutes maybe talking about that. One of the things, I don't know, I'm curious with you. I mean, obviously I know you have some quote unquote heirlooms, I guess you would call them. I think just about every gun owner.
I would say if you're from the South or your family was from the South, you've probably got a shotgun or some kind of lever or something that's an heirloom. Sure.
I think so. So and I think for some people, I mean, that could get into that could be even their first gun, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Was like maybe they hadn't thought about it or anything else, and they had a loved one pass away, and it's like, oh crap, now I've got a shotgun and this rifle or this revolver or whatever it might be, and in some cases, I've talked to folks like that. I guess $5 stuff, and it's grandpa's old shotgun or whatever, right? They don't realize, holy crap, it's a $5,000 shotgun. They just think it's some old gun, and it's like it really opens their eyes because where they haven't, I wouldn't say they were anti 2A. They were like, I think a lot of people out there is they're just indifferent,
Yeah, sure.
And then they get handed down something like that, and they're looking at it like, man, I don't really want this. It's just, what am I going to do with this? It's just, and then they find out, holy crap, there's some value in this, right? So then that leads into, you've got the heirloom side or whatever you want to call it, and then that could lead into the investment portion.
Investment / collecting, sure, yeah, absolutely,
yeah.
For me, it's none of those. Let's just be honest. I think that, I know you do, and I think most of the people out there that know me, my story's out there. It has been for 7 years now. I did not grow up around guns. I lived in suburbia Dallas, and you'd think, oh, he's Texas. Yeah, I was a suburban kid. I was I had friends that had ranches, and I mean, I had shot. Let's say I had never shot. I had shot some 22 stuff at like cans or something, but nothing, nothing much. My first shooting experience was in the Marine Corps at boot camp. I learned how to shoot in the M16A2, and this, Clover. My aha moment was that first shot with the M16A2, and it's like, oh, this is pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie. There's really, I mean, I've since then I've had multiple reasons to go into certain niches or areas, whether it's competitive shooting or self-defense, concealed carry, all of that stuff, CQB stuff, all of that. But honestly, my initial reason is I just enjoyed it. I liked guns. And I had fun shooting them in the Marine Corps, and I wish I had some more in-depth, I don't know if you would call it in-depth, or even, different way of putting it, and motivating way and all that. No, I had an aha, and I was like, oh, this is fun, and I enjoy it. And obviously when you're taught in the Marine Corps, you're taught very much about the safety and the respect of the firearm and all of that stuff. So I think anyone that is taught from the very beginning to respect the gun, to be safe with it, and how to handle it, and not just willy-nilly, hey, just go and shoot and have fun. You can have fun while being safe. And I think that for me was just, that's it. It was just, I had fun there. I really enjoyed shooting them. And I wish I had a deeper angle, but it was just, I like guns, and I enjoy shooting them. It's fun for me.
I think that the worst reason, I think, that's a bad way to put it. I'm trying to figure out how to word this, because it's definitely a thought in my head. It's just getting it out sometimes.
Yeah, sure. No,
but you've got people that own just a few guns, and that's quite all right. And you got it runs the spectrum from there, right? I mean, I'm sure there's people out there with tens of thousands in a bunker under their house or something. So, but there has to be something beyond self-defense, and something beyond the whole fight against tyranny, and something beyond that, I think, to get into a situation to where you have dozens of firearms, where you have hundreds of firearms, certainly thousands and tens.
I would say more than 10, honestly.
Yeah.
I think that you would have to have a reason. You can literally, and when we saw over the last 5 years during cough and different things happening, we saw people come to the gun community out of fear and out of self-preservation, or protecting the family. And they probably bought maybe 1, 2, or 3 different guns. But I think when you reach that level of 10, let's just put that number of 10, there's something that's deeper than that. It's okay, I enjoy this, and so I want to do this, that, and the other. I think it does shift. It has to shift, right? Eventually.
I don't know that it has to. Talking about people's, mentality and their mindset or whatever.
What I'm saying is, I don't think that anyone that has got, let's say, a dozen guns or more,
once you get to a certain point,
that's what I'm saying. Like, you can't just be in it forever for the same original reason. Your focus and your interests have to shift eventually.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I think the more that you get, and we're blessed because we get to go around and experience a whole lot. Absolutely, of things that aren't our stuff. With various range days and other things. So that certainly helps. But I think that the more that you can experience, the more you're able to experience, the more you're able to, I think there's that desire, and it's on a bunch of different levels. I mean, okay, yeah, you've got the investment aspect, sure, but sometimes just the same reason that you've got gearheads, right?
Yeah,
they like the cars, man. Oh, what cam is in that, or what's the gear ratio in the rear end, and the way.
Or there's some people that don't give a damn about engines. They just like the car. They like the design. They like the whatever it is. Some guys
it's pretty, right? Or
it's
whatever.
Pretty. Right? I like that color. Or it's really fast. They don't care how it works.
Yeah. So just take those same attributes or whatever, that same thing, and apply that to to the gun community. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And man, it opens up. It really does open up a whole new world. And something that gets under my skin is you'll get these people that, man, they're just so opinionated on, you know, you should only own what they like or whatever.
Right. Yeah. Sure.
You know, and it's like, really? Like, okay, talk crap about my high point, or, that's fine. I get it. You've got every right in the world to talk crap about my high point or my RG, revolver or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
But, for me, there's something about that, right? There's an experience with that. There's some type of a story. There's something with the design. There's just something to that appeals to me. It has a place. It at least has a place in my collection. If it doesn't in yours, that's cool. I don't have a problem in the world with that. You do you. But you'll get people that, oh, that's just a turd, right? And it's just a POS. And I don't know why anybody'd ever want that. Well, then maybe open your mind a little bit, and maybe you'll realize there's a bunch of cool stuff out there that you need to try to go and acquire, if you just free your mind, so to speak.
Yep. I think it's interesting. We're talking about the car stuff, right? First of all, mandatory carry out there says, and I have a station wagon and a bike. So taking the car stuff. Before I move on, guys, remember, if you're out there in the live chat, go ahead and let us know maybe why you started getting into guns. And if you're listening to this in replay or listening to podcasts, utilize that comment. We want to hear you guys. What got you into guns? What was the kind of the original reason why you got into guns? But Clover, before we move on, I like your analogy with the cars. And so let me ask you this, because I've got something in my mind that I think is kind of similar. The gearhead, the guy that likes to be that mechanic, that likes to kind of tool around and is always tinkering with their cars, right? Take that person and put him in the gun community. What kind of gun do you think the gearhead's really going to enjoy the most? I think it's an AR. I think because people really love tinkering with ARs and all of that stuff. I mean, I but what do you think, like the gearhead guy coming to the gun industry, what kind of gun do you think that they would enjoy, like,
depends on the level of gearhead. If you're talking about a gearhead that does bolt-on kits and stuff, right?
Yeah.
A couple of wrenches and, socket set, and I can bolt this on or bolt that on. I wouldn't disagree. Modular style stuff, right?
Yep.
So, the drop-in trigger group, style firearms where you can swap the different grip frames, ARs,
guards, whatever you want to do in ARs.
Things like that. Yeah.
Yep.
If you're talking about the old heads, let's tear this thing down. Let's rebuild this engine. Let's, a frame off restoration.
Yep.
Man, I'm thinking probably legit, like lever actions, revolvers, things that 1911s, works of art that require that meticulous touch. I think probably they would go that route, I would think.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I get that. Let's see here. Scott says, I started shooting at the age of 6 and the bug stopped. Mandatory carry says, I learned about guns from Mama and Papa Carry at about 7 years old. They took us shooting after my principal got a phone call detailing our bus route. Okay. Mandatory carry says, I have a rifle, a PCC, and a pistol, and that's it. So, and we're not saying by any means that you have to own
I am
X amount of guns to be considered whatever. There are people,
I'm judging.
Well, yeah, there you go. I am not. I think that there are different situations. First of all, the fact that mandatory carry in his condition of having at least 3 personalities that I know of is allowed to. Maybe that's why he has 3 guns, one for each personality.
Yeah,
there you go. And each one likes a rifle. One of them likes a PCC, and likes a pistol. That makes perfect sense now. Makes perfect sense. And he has a station wagon, which I guess is nice for multiple personalities as well. You never know.
Well, station wagon could be a nice Mad Max vehicle. I'm just saying.
It could be. When I think station wagon, I'm not going to lie. When I think station wagon, What's the first thing you think of station? For me, it's vacation.
The family truckster.
The family trucks, absolutely. It's vacation, 100%.
Yeah. That would be a Mad Max vehicle. Just saying. Yeah. That thing was a tank, wasn't it?
That thing made it through hell and back, no doubt. Let's talk a little bit about EAA. And you guys know, this past weekend, we were at Dallas for NRAM, and they had not only. So we knew they won the Golden Bullseye for best handgun of the year with the MCP35 lightweight, but they actually received the award at NRAM from the NRA. And they introduced several new models. And man, I tell you what, that 2311 match, that thing is going to be amazing. There's a couple of things coming down the line that people are going to be excited about EA, but that if you're looking for that match grade 2311 handgun, it's coming, folks, and it's gonna blow the socks off the industry. And I know you've been working with a lot of stuff with EAA as well. So what were you most excited about at NRAM?
Probably those 380s. We're talking about from EAA, of course.
Yes.
Probably the 380s, the BDA and the 84B or B84. I don't remember. Whichever one that one was. The Brett and the Browning, both 380 copies. Probably those. Although, man, that 2311 match is just,
that match is sweet, man.
It just looks so good. Like,
and the weight is the weight of it is perfectly distributed. From what I had, the handling and all that, and it felt so good. On top of the looks, it just felt great.
Yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, while that looks good, and I'm sure it shoots phenomenal.
Yeah,
I've already got a 2311.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
If I had to pick, okay, what's my next Gerson going to be? You know what I mean? I'd probably want to go one of the 380s because I'm not going to be shooting matches, and so it's like I've already got a 2311. Like, why not? But it just looks that we were talking about the looks earlier. It looks that full rail and just it's all beefy on the front end. It just looks freaking bull barrel. It looks phenomenal.
That bull barrel, yeah, it does. It's going to be one of those that you're going to look at it and just say, I don't know what that is. I don't really care what that is. That thing just looks badass, right? And no, I have not had a chance to shoot it yet.
Probably be SHOT Show. We might get a chance at
TriggerCon, yeah, I would imagine.
Now Scott out there is talking about he'd like to see the match with a threaded barrel or comp. Yeah, I think you could do a bush and comp on that. I'm trying to think. I don't know how it's set up. I don't remember, but yeah, oh my God, with a comp on it, yeah, definitely, it'd look even better.
No, I don't have anything against them. I'm not a comp guy. I don't think I know I don't have any handguns with comps on them. So maybe that's why I'm not a comp guy. I haven't shot a whole lot with them and all that.
Mr. Supposed they look tactical.
Good. I know, but you really also know with handguns, I try to keep them pretty much stock.
Yeah.
Now AR is a completely different scenario.
So for me, two reasons I like and I have breaks or comps or whatever on handguns. Two reasons. Neither one has to do with muzzle rise.
Right. One is that looks badass.
Number one, I like longer barrel, longer slide stuff. Yep. I like the looks of that, right?
Yeah,
for
sure.
The PPQs, for example, opted for the 5-inch where you went with the shorter, the
4 1/4,
right? So it's just me. And then the second thing is the weight added on the front end.
Yeah,
tends to help the balance to me.
Yeah.
So that's my thing with them, quite honestly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Go and check out Hootie Who says he doesn't have any pistols with comps on them either. Like I said, I'm not against them. I just don't have much experience. And what Clover says also is we're talking about going back to where we got into firearms. Well, not why I got into them, but a large part of my firearm life has been carry and self-defense. And so, yes, I do like that 4 to 4 1/4, 3 and 3/4 to 4 1/4 barrel, that more compact gun. And not that you couldn't put a comp on those, but that's kind of defeating the purpose of those compact guns. So might as well just go ahead and get the full size if you're going to do that. Not that I have anything against them. I just don't have much experience with them. But, as you've known over the last couple of years, I am starting to get into a little bit more fuddish handguns. I've gotten into 1911s and all that. So you never know. You never know. There might be a comp coming down the line sometime, and you never know. I just might love it.
Well, and bushing comps on 1911s are easy.
Yeah.
Doesn't require a threaded barrel or anything like that, which is nice.
Scott says, I never carry a comp but for matches. I guess for and honestly, I don't remember seeing in competitions. I don't remember seeing a whole lot of comps being run. It might be a thing now. You never know. I never saw a whole lot.
I think it's fine.
I
think it's more personal preference type.
Sure. Absolutely. Go check out our good buddies over eaacorp.com. More importantly, go check them out on social medias, over on the Twitters, the Instagrams, the Facebooks, the YouTubes, and let them know thank you for supporting the Ghost and Clover podcast. Obviously, we'd like for you to go buy their stuff, but we're not telling you to. But the least you could do maybe is help us out by going to thank them on social medias,
Well, here's the thing with that too, is you can't go over there and buy their stuff. You have to go to your local gun shop, your dealers. So support your local gun shops. 2 thumbs up. So and that's one of the things I like about EAA too, quite honestly, is the way that their distribution model is. They keep the local gun shops in business because they're not selling out the back door at the same time and cutting the feed out from under local gun shops, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, 100%.
You're up, man.
I am up. So obviously we talked earlier about being Memorial Day. Oh, okay.
Before you go up, real quick, third topic tonight will be chosen by somebody out there in the live chat. That's correct. Make sure you're sticking around. We will draw your name. Be thinking about what topic you want us to cover for that third topic tonight. Okay, sorry, Ghost.
Anyway, and we ask you if you happen to be the one chosen. Like he said, be thinking about now because you're going to get about 30 seconds once it's announced to give us a topic or we're going to redraw. So be thinking about that. It doesn't have to be gun. It can be gun. It could be pretty much anything that doesn't get us kicked off the platform. And you know what those topics are. My topic for tonight, we were talking earlier, obviously it is Memorial Day weekend. I want to talk about not what we think are the best, just what are our favorite war movies, because there's been so many over the last 100 years that have been so good, but kind of what's our favorite war movies? Like if you had to make a list of your favorite ones, kind of what ones come to your mind right off the bat?
Yeah, Saving Private Ryan is pretty salty.
Yeah, that's pretty salty. I think that's got to be on everybody's at least top 10, right? I mean, that's got to be on everybody that likes that niche of war movies. It's gotta be. It's got to be on everybody's top 10.
The Patriot. I don't know if that is. Does that
absolutely? Yeah, Revolutionary War. Absolutely. Yeah.
So
that was a good one. I hadn't thought about that one. Yeah.
The first part of it, like the first part of Dances with Wolves, that would be Civil War. Now that's not. I wouldn't classify that as a war movie. I don't think, but the first part of it anyway.
Sure.
That's a long movie, so probably the first 45 minutes of it.
Crazy long movie.
It's Civil War, so it's almost a movie long. The first part is, but
that's fair. That's fair.
Pretty good spot. Those some that come to mind. Typically, older stuff. If you go newer, oh man, Hurt Locker.
Hurt Locker is fantastic.
So good.
Hurt Locker is fantastic. Did you ever see Jarhead?
Yeah, I did see
Jarhead's a really good one. I enjoyed that one.
What is the one with the gunboats? One of the most amazing cinematic scenes ever.
With the Swick boats? You're talking about Uncommon Valor, not Uncommon Valor, but Something Valor. Something Valor.
Yeah, I can't think of it. Somebody out there in the chat will look it up or remind us. So,
Act of Valor.
Act of Valor.
Yeah, Act of Valor. And you guys know my story about when I first saw that. I said, this is like the worst acting I've ever seen. But whoever trained these guys were amazing because their handling and their footwork and everything about what they do are perfect. Well, then I find out later they were actual active duty SEALs that were doing it. So one, that's why their skills were so good, and two, that's why their acting was terrible. But yeah, that Swick boat coming down that river is honestly, it's got to be a top 5 movie scenes of all time. Let's just be honest.
It's movie scenes, yeah.
Movie, not just war movie. Any movie scene, it's a top 5.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Yeah, a lot of love out there for Apocalypse Now. I love Apocalypse Now. I would say that this is one just because the experience that I had. I saw this at Camp Hanson when I was stationed over in Okinawa. We had just gotten back from somewhere and we were a little, let's say, wound up, if you will. And they showed it to us, and we destroyed that theater. Like, I mean, in a good way and a bad way. We destroyed Braveheart. Braveheart is a great war movie. It's not what people think of war movie, but it is a war movie by far. Obviously, you got to go with, for me, you got to go with 13 Hours. You got to go with Lone Survivor. Those are great ones.
American Sniper.
Saving Private Ryan is great. What's that?
American Sniper, if you're going with
American Sniper,
yeah,
all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, Saving Private Ryan is phenomenal. The reason why I'm going to ask this question is it's a very heated debate, right? Platoon was a great movie. Is Forrest Gump a war movie?
I think Forrest Gump falls into the kind of like Dances with Wolves.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, it
I don't necessarily think it's a war movie. I think
it doesn't qualify as a war movie, but it's close enough because of the time that was spent on that aspect. I think of the movie was
Ooh, Das Boot. I hadn't seen Das Boot in a long time. That was a really good one.
So with go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. My dad's my dad's favorite war movie was Bridge Over the River Kwai, and that was back in 50s or 60s. I'm assuming it was an older movie, but that was my dad's one of my dad's favorite. He loved Patton as well with George C. Scott. That was a pretty good one. Yeah. What about like the Magnificent Seven?
I don't know. Is that a war movie?
No, not. I'm sorry. Dirty Dozen.
Dirty Dozen. Okay.
Yeah, I always get those mixed up, but the Dirty Dozen. That was a really good movie. Yeah.
Dirty Dozen's awesome.
Now, Defense Dad says, would a movie about divorce qualify as a war movie? So you're saying that the War of the Roses back in the day is a war movie?
Great movie. That's a great movie too.
It's a great movie. It ain't a war movie, but yeah, divorce.
No, definitely not. No, there's been mention of Full Metal Jacket out there, Platoon. Yeah, I would throw another one into that era because I remember having the big huge satellite dish back in the day, and it seemed like there was 3 war movies that were always on kind of like a repeat. Okay, and that was Full Metal Jacket, Platoon, and Hamburger Hill.
Oh, Hamburger Hill! What a great one! Yeah, what a great one.
Seemed like those were like constantly on a repeat. Full Metal Jacket loses me a little bit after the boot camp.
No, I think that it goes down some weird roads. Not saying it's bad. I think that they could have stopped the movie after the boot camp scene, and it would have been a classic in itself. Let's just be honest. I do like Full Metal Jacket, but I like Apocalypse Now more. Platoon's fantastic. Not that I would ever not watch Full Metal Jacket. It's one of those where I would stop it. Honestly, I do stop it after the boot camp scene. I just kind of I'm not feeling it.
Vince Dad's bringing up Tears of the Sun. You've also got was it Wind Talkers?
Wind Talkers, that was good as well. What was the one that came out maybe 5-10 years ago? It was Battle of Okinawa, but the guy refused to carry a gun and he just ran around saving people. Oh God.
That's a good. I don't remember. Well, it wasn't Heartbreak Ridge, although that's
No, but it was something like that.
yeah, I know
Oh,
exactly what you're
goodness.
talking about. That was pretty good.
It was a good movie.
That's pretty good.
God,
Yeah.
what was that
Somebody
movie?
out there come up with it. They know what we're talking
Yeah,
about.
it's not Heartbreak, which is Heartbreak Ridge.
Hacksaw
Great
Ridge.
movie.
Hacksaw Ridge.
Hacksaw Ridge. That's it. Yeah, great movie.
Thanks, mandatory
Yeah,
care.
thanks, man. Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta think about all the John Wayne flicks, right?
Oh, of course. Well, see, I was more of a John Wayne Western guy,
Me
personally.
too. But I mean, he
You know?
had plenty of,
Yeah,
that was
sure.
still a thing. Now I watched one. Wife did too. More recently, the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare.
Yes.
And it was pretty good. I gotta say, it was pretty good. As Superman and
Yeah, I
Jack
have
Reacher in
not
it.
seen it, but I am looking forward. That's the one with Henry Cavill, right?
Henry
You right
Cavill
there.
and then
Okay,
and
yeah.
Alan Richardson. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I wanted to make sure that I was saying that. Make sure I was from. I have seen trailers and stuff. I do want to see that.
Now it's and it is based on a true story. So
yeah.
How much is embellished? Probably a lot, but
Probably, I'm sure. Yeah.
Unlike some of them that are like Inglourious Bastards, for example, that's flat out just fiction.
So did you like Inglourious Bastards? I'm not a fan.
I did.
Did you?
I liked it.
I think it's a fun movie, but it's not something that I'm going to go watch. I'm wanting a war movie. That's not one that I'm going to.
There's a certain actor is why I like it. If he was not the one in that role, I don't know that I would have liked it. But but he just was hilarious.
Yeah. HJ was embellished. It was way crazier than the film. No, none of HJ was embellished. HJ, am I missing something?
Yeah, I don't know what he's talking about with HJ.
I don't know either. Maybe he's talking about Hacksaw Ridge, and maybe I don't know. No. There's a lot. Let's be honest, mandatory carry. Every movie is embellished a little bit.
Hollywood is going to have creative liberty.
They have to. They have to.
Except with a few.
Yeah.
They're going to have some creative liberty for sure.
Yeah. Pretty good. But no, I'm a big war movie guy. I kind of grew up watching war movies with my dad. My grandfather fought in World War II over in Germany. He was a tank commander in Germany. So I always kind of, ironically, I was talking with Chase last night till like midnight or 1 o'clock. And it was interesting. We were talking about, joining the military, and we were talking, and I did not grow up ever wanting to be in the military. Like that was never an inclination of mine. And I did not join for self, that pride of serving. It wasn't me. It was self-preservation. But I did grow up loving war movies. It's kind of weird that you grow up loving and watching war movies constantly, but never have like the inclination to join the military. I don't know why that was, but yeah.
How many kids grew up, and I mean specifically boys.
Yeah.
I don't know that there was a day that went by that we didn't play war in some fashion.
Yeah. Absolutely. And our age group, because our age group and our generation, we came home from school and we weren't basically allowed indoors until it got dark. So we were outside playing and all of that. And of course, playing war, playing, whatever. Absolutely. We were playing something all the time, letting our imaginations go.
And that was before, I can remember playing war and type stuff before I really even watched any war movies. You know what I mean? At 8 years old, I had not watched, a lot of war movies. Now, my grandfather really big into westerns, and so I was, and I was always around guns and stuff like that. And you would see scenes, and of course there was magazines, and there was all kinds of Soldier of Fortune and all kinds of other stuff.
Sure.
But that it's weird how it was almost inherent back then for boys to go out and play war.
Yeah. There were two things that I remember. So it's interesting, right? So when we had a bunch of friends around, we'd always play war. But if I was at home or something by myself, I went straight to being a cowboy. And I'd go get my cap gun revolver on my holster. And this is after watching Silverado and all these movies and Rio Bravo. I worked on for hours, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. I worked on it for hours on how to be the fastest draw and how to twirl the gun around my finger and get it back into the holster while you're twirling it around your finger. Like I spent hours on those. So, yeah, there's something about being in war or being a cowboy back in our growing up in our generation that was a big part of our lives. Obviously.
And then did you ever play Risk?
Oh, of course, absolutely.
I mean,
yeah.
I was playing Risk at a pretty young age.
I actually played Risk, but we actually pretty quickly, because my dad was such a big fan, we transitioned to Axis and Allies. I don't remember if you remember that game or not.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
We played a lot of Axis and Allies because that was my dad really enjoyed it. But my dad's favorite show of all time was MASH. And my parents used to have MASH parties every year at our house and be hundreds of people dressed up as their favorite MASH characters. So, the war TV shows, I mean, were even big in our household,
Yep.
The second grenade incident in Hacksaw Ridge. I don't remember.
I don't either. I've only seen it once. It was a good movie.
I think I've seen it twice, but I don't remember the particulars and all that. But so war movies, that was fun. We're gonna give everybody a couple minutes, and Clover's gonna get everything set up. Clover, what do they need to enter in the chat to be eligible?
Well, I'm doing it right now. So
let's take a look and see what it's gonna be. Real simple, guys. I promise you, it's probably gonna be a number.
I'm looking for my link for the stupid tool. Apparently, there it is.
We don't want you to push anything yet because we're not able to. He's not collecting those.
Oh, names. You can, but it'd be wrong.
Yeah.
So yeah, here we go. I got it set up now. Let's do this. Let's screen share this. So if you want a shot at choosing our topic, there you go.
Mickey Mantle's number, huh? We're going the old Mick.
The old Mick,
the old Mick. Mickey Mantle number 7. Just type the number 7 in the chat. And we're going to give you a few minutes while we talk a little bit about Monstrum Tactical. Great friends of both of ours and great friends of the channel and great friends of the podcast as well, obviously.
Yeah. And I heard a lot of sales going on with Memorial Day.
Yeah.
I think Chris from the 740 posted something on X with some of the sales Monstrum was having.
Yeah. Tell you what, he is a posting fool this weekend, wasn't he?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, didn't he for sure. But I haven't put anything up on Monstrum yet, but Monstrum is great for the price, even when it's not on sale. So I'm going to tell you, if you're considering any optics right now and you're looking in that budget category, man, today and tomorrow, because I think that most of the Memorial Day sales are through tomorrow. Today and tomorrow may be the way to go, and especially with Monstrum. I haven't seen any of the sale prices or anything, but
like you said, their prices originally are already damn good.
Oh, yeah. If they're anything off, they got to be good. So, if you're looking for LPBO, they're a little thin on their dots for handguns. Monstrum is, but their LPBOs, they're more traditional scopes, red dots for rifles or your larger pistols, and then your mounts, your rings, your stuff like that.
Yeah, and we've talked about that a lot. I think that's the part. I mean, their optics are phenomenal. We've been working with them for 5, 6 years, but that's the one side of things that I don't think people know about. That you don't have to go and get loopholed in these Vortex and these high-end mounts and rings. You can get amazing rings and mounts from Monstrum for a fraction of the price, and they are I've got them on a lot of different guns that don't have Monstrum optics. I'm just using the rings or the mounts, and they're phenomenal.
Yeah.
And they're great prices, but they're going to be really, really high quality for sure.
Yeah, Scott out there confirms, says Monstrum has some real smoking deals this weekend. Again, I wouldn't doubt it. So yeah, first, they got the first focal plane, second focal plane. They seem to be, because I've got one here. I think it's RMR, called the Raven. They call it Raven.
Yeah.
But you don't see it out there in the wild and on their website and Amazon and other websites very often.
Yeah.
So I think they're still testing the waters with the handgun, the handgun side of things.
Yeah. Well, I think that's where a lot of optics companies are that kind of stayed away from the handgun market for so long. And now I think it's one of those where it is where handguns are going. So if you're an optic company, you're almost forced into that market, right?
But I think they learned their lessons. If you don't know the history with Monstrum, they kind of learned some hard lessons.
Hard lessons, yes.
And they did get a bad rap.
But they owned it. But they owned it too.
Oh, 100%. They got a bad rap, but they did not back away or make excuses. They said, "Hey, we screwed up. We could do this better, and you know what? We're going to do it better." And so they completely revamped their manufacturing process and a bunch of other stuff. So that's to say, if years ago you've got a bad experience with Monstrum, might be worth giving them another try. Might be.
That's right.
Because they've certainly done better. But I think part of that is to focus on kind of one area at a time.
Yeah.
And it seems like that's kind of what they've done. So,
they were big into regular dots, and they got big into LPVOs there for a while, and prisms there for a while. So, and you can't go wrong with any of them. You can't go wrong with any of them. I own pretty much at least one style of everything that they make, and they're great. They're fantastic. Real quick before we draw, I'll give everybody one more chance. I want everybody out there. We got a bunch of people that haven't pushed number 7. Just push number 7. Take a chance. Live a little. Live on the dark side. Just trust us. We say just type the number 7 in the chat, and just don't worry about it. Enjoy life, and whatever happens, right? It's a lucky number 7. How can you not want to push the number 7?
It is lucky number 7. Speaking of that, let's draw this thing.
Let's draw it. Here we go. No whammies.
Maybe. Hopefully, whoever gets this is still listening. Is still out there.
Mark just came in and got it. Mark just
didn't even know what it was about. Nope. He didn't even know what it was about.
Nope. Mandatory carry says type number 7, Mark, and he did. He goes, why? So, Mark, you get to choose the topic. So let us know a topic, any topic you want, as long as it doesn't get us kicked off.
Any topic.
Just any topic whatsoever. Music, we'll talk food, music, movies, guns, cars,
whatever.
Absolutely. Just pick one and we'll roll with it.
Mandatory carry says, I don't want to win, Ghost. We don't want you to win either, bro.
We didn't want you to win either because, we didn't know which personality was going to give us a topic. And,
I seem to remember the last time that mandatory carry won. He gave
the actual mandatory carry.
Yeah.
Mark says, might I have a moment? We'll give you about a minute. How about that?
Maybe a minute. Yeah.
Maybe a minute.
Yep. Because we have to move this along. This is live TV.
So the last time mandatory carry won, what were you saying? The last time mandatory carry won, what was the topic? Do you remember?
I don't remember what the topic was, but I seem to think it was a good topic suggestion.
Yeah, he got lucky. So
yeah.
He says 5. He has 5. I forgot. He told me earlier. I forgot about Jack and Jill. So he has 2 more personalities that either I forgot about or haven't met yet. But he's claiming 5. You can start up a pretty good Marvel team with 5 personalities.
Probably, yeah. To answer Scott's question out there, talking about me 3D printing stuff. No, and the reason I have is I have not gotten good enough with just standard PLA, and a mag base is going to have to withstand some pressure and some other stuff. So I might have to print with a different material. So I'm not there yet to really to try it, to be quite honest with you.
Gotcha.
So Mark, buddy.
Mark, we're gonna give you about maybe 10 more seconds, homie.
It's real easy to say pancakes or waffles or something in the chat. Like seriously, easy to give us a topic, man. It's not that.
It's pulling my finger,
detrimental to my health.
Detrimental to my health, exactly. Which is better, cough syrup or Pepto Bismol? I mean,
by the way, we can't give medical advice on this channel. So,
Well, we did stay at Holiday Inn Express once, but
this is true. This is true.
Both pancakes and waffles. I disagree with that.
Maybe a waffle wrapped in a pancake.
All right. Well, I don't know if Mark's busy or he's really having this tough of a time. Oh, here we go.
There we go.
Best first-person shooter game you guys have ever played or favorite game genre. My favorite first-person shooter game is probably I really enjoyed Rainbow Six. Which one was that I played a while? Rainbow Six games. I think it's Siege, maybe. I might be wrong, but I want to say it was Rainbow Six Siege. Came out maybe 8 years ago, something like that.
Which was the one? I mean, how long have you been playing? You've been playing.
Oh, a long time. Yeah.
So which one? See, I haven't. Especially not like first person.
Yeah, I mean, Call of Duty's great. There was a Rainbow Six Las Vegas. It's probably 20 years ago. That was great. That was like one of the first ones that I really got into. I was never a Halo guy. I never got into Halo.
Yeah, it was yeah.
I never got into Halo or any of that stuff. So Call of Duty got me into it, and then the Rainbow Six games, I enjoyed those probably the most. They're either Call of Duty games or Rainbow Six games. Yeah.
So I would say maybe mid-late 2000s. I did some mass multiplayer, online stuff with Warhammer and some other things. And you can shift into a first-person mode, but I wouldn't count that as first-person.
Sure.
Prior to that, I mean, nothing on PlayStation or even Xbox or anything like that for me.
Yeah,
stuff on PC, obviously. So I remember a Rainbow Six that I had. It was pretty bad to the bone. And I don't know what it was though, because I'm pretty sure it was on PC. But I remember there was a mission that was on a boat. So anyway, I don't know if
so we're talking how long ago?
Oh my God, we're talking. This could be like late 90s.
Okay.
So,
damn. Yeah. There's been a lot of Rainbow Six games since then, so I don't remember.
Oh yeah. But yeah, sure. I remember one specific mission. It was and it starts out and there's like a mission. You got to rescue some people in an embassy or something, and then from there it's like pirates have taken over a boat or something.
Right.
And so
count.
Technically, I think it would, but
sure, it is you are the first person and you are shooting, so
definitely a first person shooter. Yeah, for sure.
You're just fighting the ducks instead of another gun.
Sadly, you can't shoot the laughing dog, but
I think you should be able to, right? I would never condone it, but it did get annoying at times.
So again, this goes back to late 90s, probably very early 2000s, but and this is not like a realistic type thing, but still a first person shooter. It'd be similar to like Halo or something, right? Is Unreal Tournament, and also I guess kind of a spin-off of that was Quake Arena.
Oh, see, I don't know either one of those, I guess.
And so both of those were you could play online, you could create teams, you could enter into tournaments, you could do all kinds of things. And for back in like the dial-up days, that was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Did
you ever play any of the old James Bond movies, games and all that? There was
GoldenEye. GoldenEye is amazing. GoldenEye
That's
is
one
one
of
of
the
the
best games
greatest
ever
games of all time.
created.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
agree.
yeah,
It is one of the
yeah.
best games ever
For that
and,
era.
and I would consider
Yeah.
that a first-person shooter. One of the, I would consider because you are
I think
running around
so.
and you're shooting.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah,
never heard of Unreal Tournament. But yeah,
I'll
GoldenEye
tell
was
you another
amazing.
one. So I'll tell you another one. Yeah, Unreal
Mhm.
Tournament. Unreal Tournament, the engine, talking about the software for Unreal
Okay.
Tournament, was used on a lot of other stuff, a lot of other projects.
Okay.
Yeah, Unreal Tournament. Yeah, Mark's talking about his captured flag. Yeah, they were like last man standing. You
Okay.
could set up all the
Okay.
different
I just
parameters.
I don't remember that for some reason.
Um,
I just don't.
so that was really cool. I was thinking of what was the other one I was thinking about? There was another one. Um, well, I'll tell you one while I'm thinking of this. There was what was that one called? X-Wing Alliance, maybe. And so I don't know if does it count as a first-person shooter if you're sitting in the cockpit of a like an X-Wing?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
You're
I
still
see that.
shooting.
Yeah, I
You're
see
still
that as
shooting.
first person. It's still first person, and you're still shooting. You're just happen to be flying instead of
I
walking,
I
right?
would 100% because I think
Yeah.
I think some of the old I don't even remember the names of them. It wasn't Top Gun, but it was like, when Top Gun came out, there was a whole bunch
So
of like fighter jet movie games and all that. I
yeah.
think those count 100%.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, mandatory says yeah, it counts. So there was a game called X-Wing Alliance, and it was a game that you could actually go through and play the game, but there
Mm,
was a simulator portion. You went back like in the wreck area of your spaceship, and you had these simulators, and so you
okay.
could log into it. It's weird. You could log into a simulator on a video game. I know that's like blows your mind, but it's the way it was kind of set up.
Sure. Yeah.
But within that simulator, again, it was kind of like um, you could connect through the internet with other people and you could set up scenarios. So you could set up a scenario where, like, the Empire has six Star Destroyers, a Super Star Destroyer, 530 TIE fighters, blah, 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 versus you have this much, there's this many X Wings, or you could flip it and you could be in a TIE fighter or whatever. Like,
Oh, okay.
you could
Cool.
customize the entire battle, the entire makeup of that battlefield, basically, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Nice.
and so that was really cool. Um, but another one that I just thought about that I didn't play for very long. I beat it. I beat it actually pretty quickly, and I never really went back to it. And I don't think it had. If it had online like cooperation playing capability, I don't remember. Was Doom or not Doom? Um, maybe it was. What is? It was. Was it Doom?
I never played Doom,
Crap,
so
I
I
can't
don't know.
remember. Was it Doom? It wasn't the original Doom, first of
Okay.
all. But
Yeah.
I'm thinking it was like Doom 3D or it was Doom. It was Doom something. The graphics were pretty salty on it. Um, but I'm going to tell you something. Wearing a headset with a multi-monitor setup in the dark at night playing that game was freaky as it could be, dude. If you had
Oh, I
like your
bet.
headset with like the 5.1 surround, because you could hear monsters and stuff like behind you, and when you're in the dark,
Oh,
that's
that's
freaky,
interesting.
dude. It was freaky, dude. But as far as graphics and stuff like that, for the time, again, we're talking maybe early 2000s.
Yeah.
Graphics and stuff were pretty awesome. Yeah, Mark says Clover having at UT and Warhammer 40K. Uh, but the game ready or not, you should at least review some bids on it. Yeah, Warhammer. I played Warhammer, the whatever the mass multiplayer that released.
Is that the game that you and TJ were talking about when we were in Kansas last year about different stuff? Like you were talking about a
No,
game you'll both play. I can't remember what that
I don't. I
was.
don't think so. I think it was something else.
Okay.
Um, and then I'll tell you another one that I really enjoy. Have you ever played House of the Dead?
No, I have not.
Anybody over there out there ever played House of the Dead? So this is a Doom 3. Thank you, Mark. Doom 3 is what he says. Probably that's probably what it was. It sounds like he was kind of in that era, same as me. So
Yeah.
yes, totally freaky, dude. Totally freaky. Anyway,
Interesting.
um, so House of the Dead is you're like a FBI agent guy, and it's
Uh-huh.
an arcade game. So it's one of those that has the guns, and the screen automatically moves. You know what I mean?
Mm,
It automatically moves. You don't walk or do anything, obviously. Has always been one of my favorite games of all time. I don't know how much money I spent in arcades and stuff playing that.
right.
and I ended up getting the PC versions of that. Now it's not quite the same because you got to move the crosshairs with a mouse. But yeah, Mark says House of the Dead at the movie theater. Heck yeah, they did make those for PC, and I think you can find them now on emulators even too. But that's one of the OG first person shooters, I guess, was House of the Dead. So really cool game. No, I don't know how many times I beat that.
Yeah, I got into the first person shooter games. Well, GoldenEye was awesome, but I really got into it when Call of Duty and Rainbow Six came out. Before that, I played a lot of sports, like basically football and baseball, and played a lot of Guitar Hero back in the day. I'm not gonna lie, I loved Guitar Hero.
We wore out, my wife and I and the kids. We wore out Rock Band on PS2.
Oh yeah, we had Rock Band. I had the drums and all that. Yeah. We were a big fan of that. My daughter and I would play just forever. My wife played every now and then, but my daughter and I, we used to jam out on Guitar Hero, Rock Band, all of those.
I could actually play, now not the drums, but the guitar anyway. I could actually play without even looking at the screen at a lot of songs at a lot of points. So I would just walk around. I would walk around the living room, wouldn't even be looking at the screen playing it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You played it so many times.
Absolutely.
It's just muscle memory.
Yep. Mark says Rainbow Six Ghost. I'm begging you, bro. Watch a couple of videos on Ready or Not. Okay, I'll go check it out. 100%. Ready or Not.
Now would some of the racing games be considered? That wouldn't be first person shooter, but it'd be first person, right?
It'd be first person. But he's also asked about favorite game genre, so we can talk about genres also. But I love a lot of the racing games. I used to love that stuff.
By the way, great movie is Gran Turismo. I think it's on Netflix. Highly suggested. It was the story of back when they took the racing gamers and basically turned them into race car drivers. Very good movie. Highly recommended on that one.
Yeah, very good. Very good.
I had the most fun as far as the genre with a mass multiplayer with specifically Diablo 2 and then later on the Warhammer. So because of the mass multiplayer aspect, and then there was guys locally in our guilds we would create, and then as well as guys across the world, right, and gals too.
Sure.
So it was a real community aspect, probably similar to a lot of people that play the Fortnites and the other stuff, mass multiplayer type games nowadays. I'm sure it's the same exact thing.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I never got into that. I never got into that kind of stuff. Mandatory Cares, he's playing a lot of Fallout right now.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm getting text messages right now. There's a big game. We're doing Texas is playing Texas A&M, and the Super Regionals of softball. The winner goes to the World Series, and Texas is up right now with 2 outs in the last inning. So hoping we pull this out. We got 1 more out to get out, but she's texting me updates. Sorry about that. So Mark says, so you're a real-time strategy guy, Clover. I threw out Command and Conquer. You'd know something about that, right? Command and Conquer?
I'm familiar with Command and Conquer. Okay. I didn't necessarily play a lot. I played a lot of StarCraft. What are some of the other similar to that? I'm trying to think. What was there? There was some of those for like Nintendo and stuff. It was like Desert something, maybe. I can't remember. I played some of those more strategy style game. Star Wars, Battlefront, maybe what it was called.
Battlefront. Yeah, I remember Battlefront.
I think might fall into that category. But my favorite by far was like the fantasy, create your character, all kind of weird skills, and it was cooperative play, like, your character, and everybody had more than one character, but you put your groups together to go on your raids or whatever based on, whoever. I'm going to be the tank. I'm going to be the range. I'm going to be the healer. I'm going to do this. And, and certain ones were, it's just so individualized, and specialized that certain ones like my healer might be better for this dungeon than somebody else's healer or whatever. So, being able to get that concoction just right, where you can be the most effective group was always kind of cool.
Yeah, Texas wins. Texas wins. Thank God Almighty, Texas wins. Beat damn Aggies. Anyways, yeah. Thanks for the topic, Mark. That was awesome. Yeah, I am a first person shooter, but I'm not. I haven't got. I mean, I wasn't a big gamer. I enjoyed.
First time we've ever talked games, I think, at all.
We have, and we need to talk more about them.
Pretty awesome.
I think that. Yeah, I think we.
So thanks, Mark.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, it was fun. It's fun. And thanks for Monstrum Tactical out there for sponsoring that portion out there. Let us know out there if you're watching this and replay or listening to podcast. Let us know what your favorite first person shooting game or game genre is. I think everyone enjoys. I wouldn't say everyone, but I'd say most people have played games before and enjoy certain types of games, right? So,
well, I hear your wife likes the slot machines. So they
she does like a slot machine. She likes beating the shit out of a slot machine when it takes her money. But no, she's a slot machine person. You want like it on her phone and stuff? Oh my god, that's like she has a tablet. This is not an exaggeration. She has a tablet that she doesn't use anything but for these slot machine games, and it is running 24/7, 365, literally. It's insane. It's insane. She's addicted to online slots. I guess I could be thankful that it's not real money, because she'll get like $1 billion, and then like an hour later she's broke, and it's like, I don't understand that. I don't understand how you can do that in slot machines, but she does. She's got like part of these, there are these clubs and these tournaments. It's a whole lifestyle. Put it to you that way. But yeah, she enjoys it. She enjoys it. It's a hobby for her, and God bless her that she enjoys it. So
yeah, ain't hurting nobody. Why not?
Ain't hurting nobody. I make fun of her for it, but then again, like, she puts up with me. So what really is my problem, So what you got coming up this next week or two? So we got 2 weeks before the next show. What you got coming up?
Man, I am still dropping in-ram stuff. So I got I think tomorrow and Tuesday. And then we'll get back to kind of some normal stuff and not one video a day. So
yeah.
Last one from MM dropped Tuesday. I'll probably drop the next produced on Friday. I did find some 30 super carry.
Nice.
I've got some more coming, but did find some. Picked up a little bit yesterday.
Locally, that's nice.
Locally, as well as some.
Is that the first time you've seen it locally, or you haven't been literally looking?
No, I just haven't. I mean, I know it's around. Know and have known it's around. I just hadn't had a use, and so there will be some 30 super carry stuff coming up, which I'm looking forward to. Yeah, and then hopefully I can get pretty much caught up. I don't expect really anything from NRAM to manifest before GunCon, which is in a few weeks.
Yeah.
And so hopefully I can get caught up, you know what I mean, before GunCon. And then we've got a lot of time between that and goals in August.
Yeah, in August.
So, but we'll have a lot of stuff coming in from, of course, NRAM and GunCon to work on and do too. So lots to do.
Yeah, Mark says, I have another question. If you guys have seen the older show called Top Shot, yes, we're very fortunate to be friends with several of the people from Top Shot.
Bunches of them, yeah.
Do you think the military would benefit using some? No, I don't. This is my personal opinion. I'll let Clover talk. But from my experience in the Marine Corps, I don't, because most of the Top Shot stuff is exhibition type shooting. A lot of, and I'm not saying precision, but it is very precision based shooting as they're trying to hit targets. Military shooting is much different. A different mentality. A much different idea of purpose-driven shooting. Now, do I think it will hone some skills for some certain maybe skill levels? Maybe, but once again, I don't see the vast majority of stuff that goes on Top Shot being beneficial at the military level. That's just me, though. Clover, what do you think, real quick, on that?
I pretty much defer to you with that question.
Okay.
So I don't know what's beneficial for military training. I have no idea.
You know, most of the time when we're shooting, it's a lot of our stuff is not necessarily shooting related. It's tactics related that we get to shoot while doing certain team movements, squad movements, and all of that. But yeah, there's some cool stuff on top. It was one of my favorite shows, absolutely, for one of my favorite shows.
So let me twist that right quick and say, do I think that's beneficial for like the average person out there and their marksman skills? 100%, absolutely, without a doubt.
Absolutely.
And I think all you've got to look at to know that is Dustin Ellerman. Dustin Ellerman, he grew up at a camp throwing rocks and shooting bows and throwing tomahawks and doing all that weird stuff. And he absolutely wrecked shop the season he was on there. Like he ran away with that.
You know, Chris Chang was a Google analyst and won Top Shot. You know, he had a background of shooting, but was not this shooting everyday guy. You know, I think that honestly, to be honest with you, Gabby was one when she was on. She was one of the most qualified, decorated shooters ever to be on that show, and that's why she was on it several times. You know,
3 seasons, I think.
Maybe. Yeah, I know a threat.
Or appearance, not competing, but appearance. I think.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. But no, I mean, Dustin, 100%. Showed up and was the guy that everyone kind of laughed at. And they weren't laughing at the end of the show, I guarantee it.
No, and to my knowledge, that was the most runaway finale of all the seasons. None of them even come close to how badly he beat the other competitor.
So. Where is Chris now? We just saw him last week in Dallas. He's doing a lot. He's still shooting, but he's doing a lot of work for organizations, fundraising. He did a lot of big, man, I tell you what, he headed it up and came up with the idea and really spearheaded Walk the Talk America's fundraiser last month. They raised over $100,000 in a week, and that was primarily due to Chris. So he's still Chris Chang, not Chris Reed, Chris Chang. Chris been on Clover's podcast several times.
Oh yeah.
They're all. I mean, we
regularly.
Yeah, I mean, I saw Gabby last week. She was hanging out with Walther there for a little bit.
Yep.
I didn't see Dustin in room, but I did see we ran into Chris, and I
don't believe he was there.
I don't think he was, considering he was only a couple hours away. But yeah, he might have been busy with the camp because it's getting that time of year, you know.
Yep. Absolutely. So, yeah.
Referring to the cover of Recoil.
That's Chris Chang. Yeah.
Yep. He was, I tell you what, great human being, not afraid to stand up for what he believes in, and
makes trips to Washington pretty regularly. He's doing a lot of work behind the scenes. And I think that's kind of where he's really good at. I know that he worked with you and Pincus on some YouTube stuff a few years back. So he's really doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes that people aren't seeing, but trust me, Chris Chang is heavily involved in the two-way sphere right now. Yeah. And he's back in tech. He has a day job. So
yeah.
He's doing that on top of his normal day job too. So.
Yeah. Mike Seeklander. I did not squad up with Mike, but I was in many competitions with Mike years back. So fantastic shooter. Maybe
our community, for those that are curious, and especially with in-round, with goals coming up, with GunCon, with some of these events that you can actually go to.
Yep.
I encourage you to take a vacation, make a trip, whatever, and go, because you'll find out.
You'll meet them.
You'll find out real quick the gun culture and the gun community is a lot smaller than what you might think otherwise. Like, these people are not unattainable to talk with, to have a conversation, to run down. They're just normal people.
Yeah.
It's
More
pretty
people that just happen to be on TV for a little bit, and but no, I mean, they were gun people, or they wouldn't have gotten on that show to begin with. So it's kind of cool. Kind of cool. Yep. Yeah, guys, we're going to be back in 2 weeks. Hope everybody is having a great Memorial Day weekend. Hope everyone has a safe Memorial Day tomorrow. Have fun, enjoy the kids, tell them you love them, give them a hug, give them a kiss, enjoy the family, have the cookouts, live life to the fullest. Like I said, that's how you honor the fallen, is live life to the fullest. Be someone that was worthy of their sacrifice. You got anything else?
Careful, man. There's a beverage here.
Happy Memorial Day.